All right, so let's start part two of the notes. This is the third and fourth page. So now that you guys know how to separate a right triangle with an altitude drawn into its small, medium, and large triangles, now we're going to apply the geometric mean and that principle together. So if you remember, the geometric mean was some number over a variable x equals x over another number. So if you're looking at the geometric mean theorem, if you notice how there's the x and the x there, it's the same thing here, the same thing here, and the same thing here. So the idea is you want to set up these problems so that you have the geometric mean, and then you can cross multiply and solve for the variable x. So let's do that for each triangle. And sometimes, let's say sometimes, it is useful to draw all three triangles and make sure you have the right side, because there can be a lot of numbers in the problems. So let's look at some examples. All right, so we need to find the value of each variable. So we're going to have, let's see, the large triangle. I'll drag that right here. We'll have the middle-sized triangle. I'll drag that over here. And the small triangle, I'll drag that. Oops. I'll drag that over here. Let's drag this over here. And then let's label the angle so we see all three triangles. There's a large one, here's a medium, and the small. And it's really good to label each side in all three triangles so you know which two you're dealing with. So the large triangle, the long side is 9. I'm going to move this here and this here. Move this here. Trying to make it look nice for you guys. All right, and then the middle-sized triangle, this is 6, and this is 3, and they both share the x. So the idea is when you're looking at all three triangles, you want to pick the two triangles that both have the variable x in it. So when we're finding the value of x, we'll be picking from the middle-sized triangle and the small triangle. You want to set it up so you have 6 over x equals x over 3. Just like the geometric mean. So we cross multiply, x squared equals 18. You take the square root of both sides, x squared equals 18. Square root of 18. Need some more space. So x equals the square root of 18, x equals the square root of 9 times the square root of 2. So that's my final answer for the first one. X equals 3 square root of 2. All right. Now if I do part B, let's find the large triangle. The middle-sized triangle, and the small triangle. And then I'll go back and label all the right angles so you guys can see where they actually are. Right angle, and then let's label the sides. So the middle triangle, this is 5, and the small triangle, this is 2, and the large triangle, this is 7, and then we have this is Y, and this is Y. So if you notice this time, we're not using the 5 that they give us, but we're going to be using the small triangle and the large triangle. So we're going to set it up so we have the geometric mean. So we'll have 7 over y equals y over 2. And we cross multiply, we get y squared equals 14. Take the square root of both sides. And 14 we can't reduce, so that's going to be in simplified terms. That's already the final answer. So we'll leave that the way it is. Go on to the next page. So on this page, we're looking for the same thing. We want to complete the proportion and solve for the missing side. And if you remember, so you guys can separate this triangle and figure out which side to use. But the idea is you're going to have these two numbers equaling the same thing. So actually this one we can kind of skip some steps and just say that x over 20 is going to equal 20 over 12. So we can separate the triangles and draw them out. I want to save you some time, so you kind of skip those steps. But let's reduce this fraction before we simplify. So if we divide both the top and the bottom into by 4, we get 5 divided by 3. So let's not use this one. So then we get 3x equals 100. X equals 100 divided by 3, and that's 33.3 repeated. So that's our answer for that. And for this one we might need to use, we might need to separate the triangles because I don't know if we're using the 3 or if we're using the 2. So this is an example where you want to separate the triangles and figure that one out. So if I draw the large triangle, then it looks like this one is the middle-sized triangle. Oop, messed it up. This one is the middle-sized triangle. And this one will be the small triangle. Then I'll go back, I'll label the angles and everything. So this is the right angle in this one. This is the right angle in this one. This is the right angle in this one. Let's label the sides. Now this is x. This is x. And the large one, this is 5. And the medium-sized one, this is 3. And then this is 2. So if you notice, the large triangle and the middle-sized triangle both have the variable x. So we'll be using those two. So we'll be using the 3 instead of the 2. So we'll have 5 over x equals x over 3. And then we get x squared equals 15. Take the square root of x squared, square root of 15. And I'm going on to the next problem because I'm out of space, but x equals the square root of 15. And you can't reduce that, so this is the final answer. That's the final answer. All right, let's do part C. But let me erase that so you guys can see what I'm doing. And let's see, they're using the number 8. And like I said, we don't know if we're going to be using 5 or 3. So let's separate and let's draw. All right, so the large triangle is going to be here. The middle-sized triangle is going to be here. And the small triangle is going to be here. And then I'll label where the right angles are so you know what we're looking at, the large one and the middle size one. So let's label the sides. So we have the large one, this is 8, and this is X. And the middle size one, this is 5. This is X, and the small one, this is 3. So we're using the large triangle, and we're using the middle-sized triangle. And if I set up the proportion the way they have it, we have 8 over X equals X over 5. We cross multiply. Let me extend the page. We're going to take the square root of both sides. So we get X equals the square root of 40. X is going to equal the square root of 4 times the square root of 10. X equals 2 square root of 10. So that's our answer for part C. And that's the end of part 2. We have one more part left.